Spoiler alert. If you have seen the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, you know that there's a point in the movie where Luke Skywalker teaches Rey all about the Force and how to access the Force. And one of the things he tells Rey to do is to quiet her mind, to breathe, and to just let go. Now, whether you see the Force as God or as the eternal connections within the universe or just something made up by George Lucas, the truth is that if we all just breathed and paid attention and let go a little bit more, we could all live a greater sense of mindfulness. Friends, I'm coming to you from the Brandeis-Bardin Institute of Living Judaism in Southern California. I am here for the week, along with Cantor Cooperman, as part of something called the Clergy Leadership Program of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. It is an 18-month intensive program, including 4 retreats, 2 in the winter, which is why we're in California as opposed to the West Coast, and 2 in the summer, which will take place in the Baltimore area. We're here under the auspices of the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. And the goal of both the Institute and the Clergy Leadership Program is to give clergy the tools and resources to become more mindful, more aware, and then in turn to be able to be more both productive and present for their communities. So what are we doing here over the course of this week? We're learning practices like of meditation, of yoga, of sitting in silence. Yeah, I'm sitting in silence for most of the day, as well as contemplative prayer and, of course, the study of Hasidic texts. And the goal, as I said, is to become more aware and more mindful. We're here until Thursday night, and of course we'll both be back in time for this Friday night for Shabbat. But I invite you to go on the website and to learn more. And there's a great connection to this week's Torah portion, Parashat Bo. Bo comes at us as we're in the midst of the 10 plagues. We have the first 7 plagues last week in Vayera. This week in Bo, we have the final 3 plagues of locust, darkness, and the slaying of the firstborn. And then, of course, the preparations for the Israelites as they're going to leave Egypt. The Parasha begins with the phrase, Bo el Paro, go unto Pharaoh. And one can understand it in its literal sense. Moses, the human being, has to go to Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and tell him again, let my people go. But the Rebbe, the great Hasidic Rebbe Nachman of Bratslav, looked at the text and understood it on a metaphoric sense. What Nachman taught was that Bo el Paro means go unto the depths. There's a car just coming by. It means go into the depths, go into the void, go into the place where perhaps God isn't. Because in the place of nothingness, where God is not, you have to all of a sudden pay attention differently. And then maybe you can find ways to bring God into those spaces. And it's only when Moses is able to go into the depths, into the void, he realizes that his true task is not just to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt, but his true task is also to bring them closer to the divine presence in their lives. Friends, they teach us that the word for Egypt in Hebrew is Mitzrayim. It means not just the land of Egypt, but also a place of narrowness, of constriction. And I know this is towards the end of this video, but I want you to try something. If you constrict yourself, if you get everything really, really tight, now try to breathe. It's very hard. But if you let go, as Luke Skywalker told Rey in The Last Jedi, if you open up and let go, then you can breathe. And then you can truly become one with the breath of the universe. So I look forward to seeing you this Shabbat and keeping you updated as Cantor Cooperman and I go through this wonderful process of enlivening our own souls, which will hopefully in turn enliven that of the congregation. Our Tu B'Shvat Seder is coming up. Tu B'Shvat is the new year for the trees. We hope you join us for that Seder when we can remind ourselves that we are part of this beautiful natural world in which we live. And so too, this Shabbat is the second Women's March. We have a group from Community Synagogue going. We hope you'll join along as we need to say we persist, where we bring our values of justice and compassion and truthfulness to the world, calling out and saying that everybody needs to be treated as equal. So wishing you an early Shabbat Shalom. See you on Friday.